Are you thinking about a move to San Diego? Today we're gonna get into 3 each of our favorite neighborhoods here in North County. We're gonna talk about what you can do, restaurants, things we like, some stories about the areas, even a couple cons. Let's get into it right now. Hello, I'm Cassidy Lewis.
And I'm Chris Erickson.
And we are your local realtors here in North County, San Diego. And this is where you come for all things North County. We're dropping new videos every single week on things to do, neighborhoods, places to go, and everything in between. So if this is your first time here, definitely hit that subscribe button right down there. We're dropping new videos every week on all things North County. And if you're thinking about a move out to San Diego, definitely hit us up. Call, text, email. We are helping people move to San Diego all the time. We're getting reach outs every single week. We love helping people move to our hometown here of San Diego.
So we're gonna jump into our heads and give you our 3 top neighborhoods, pros, cons, everything in between. Just kind of tell you a little bit about each neighborhood, why we dig them, and kind of why we would really like living there. So we're gonna get into all of that right now. We're gonna jump into my first neighborhood, and it's zip code 92007, technically part of Encinitas, but it's Cardiff by the Sea, the very southern part of Encinitas. Now I was cruising through there the other day, and right now it wouldn't be ideal for me. I have a few kids, so the roads are tight. There are a few parks and stuff in there. Glen Park is a really great one, but maybe when they get a little older, maybe when mom and dad have a little more free time. I just love the whole neighborhood, the walking district specifically. You can walk down to Seaside Market. One of our local tap rooms is right in that same little market area. It's a small little shopping center at the bottom of the hill that kind of feeds that whole community. And I also really love the beaches over there. Right when you go south of the Cardiff Kook, there is a ton of open coastline, a few little restaurants down there too. So if you want to explore those, some good spots. Those are like a few restaurants right on the beach, kind of the only ones right here in North County. But then the walking district, like I said, you could kind of walk kind of to everywhere in there, all little coffee shops. And I was just thinking when I was driving through how great it'd be to get a cup of coffee, cruise back up the street, and just sit on your stoop and enjoy a nice cup of coffee in Cardiff by the Sea. And there are a few negatives about Cardiff, nothing really big. One big thing is it all goes uphill. So once you're in that walking district, you better, well, it's kind of like a hiking district. You gotta go uphill. It's pretty steep, so just be ready for some exercise and stuff in there, but no big deal. I'll get my morning cup of coffee, like I said, and then get my exercise at the same time. Also, there's only one place to kind of cross the train tracks that run right along there. So Chesterfield is like the only spot to get across to the beach. I mean, a lot of people cross everywhere, but it's illegal. So don't do it, it's not recommended.
So one of my favorite neighborhoods here in North County, San Diego is in Carlsbad, and it's part of Old Carlsbad. Specifically, there are a couple streets that run parallel to the 5 freeway, just east of the 5. One of the main ones is Highland Drive. And you'll see a lot of homes on Highland are kind of newly upgraded. They're big lots, big homes, just really cool beach community. So you have little beach bungalows, and then you've got completely updated new homes. So that real cool mix, very custom feel. And it's super close to a lot of really cool things. You can get down to the Carlsbad Village super quick, which has a ton of local restaurants. Pizza Port's one of our favorites, obviously. Norte for some great Mexican food. Park 101 if you like some barbecue and some good brews. And there's a bunch of other ones down in that area to explore. So I like that idea of being able to choose a new thing every weekend and kind of just explore different options. Also, that stretch of beach there in Carlsbad is great even just for walking the boardwalk. It's a beautiful stretch of beach kind of just south of Carlsbad Village Drive. And one of the cons of that neighborhood is you do get a little bit of freeway noise depending on what street you are. The higher up the hill, the less freeway noise you get, but just something to think about. So Chris and I actually have the same number 2, the same second community that we could definitely see ourselves living in, one of our favorites. It's a community that I love. I grew up there. I lived there for at least 12 years growing up in high school, and that is Alevinhain, which is the colony on the east side of Encinitas. It's a really cool rural community within a beach community. So obviously Encinitas is known for being a super beach-friendly surfer community, but definitely has a little bit more of that rural, outdoor hiking, equestrian, You get more land. A lot of the areas are going to be 2-acre minimums, which is great if you're looking for a little bit more space. You're allowed in that area, not that I would, but you're allowed to have like chickens and some other animals out there as well. So definitely if you're looking for that, it's a great opportunity. But there's just a lot of great lots and homes. And with that extra land and stuff you get out there, you get more privacy, which means you kind of just can build your own little oasis, and you really don't need to go anywhere else.
And I really dig it. A lot of the same reasons, just this openness. It's a pretty cool spot, like a lot of these custom places. And once you're on your land, it kind of feels like you're in your own little oasis. So, and I've been really exploring out there lately, just doing a lot of running and connecting little trails and seeing new areas you don't necessarily see from the roads. And there are a ton of different areas. There are some track neighborhoods, kind of semi-custom track neighborhoods, which aren't my favorite, but tucked in all these little nooks and crannies, there are some fantastic spots. You have some views out there too, but I could just imagine like waking up, letting the kids run around in the yard, like these huge properties, kind of get lost and explore a little bit like I did when I was a kid. And one thing that's kind of a downside, there's basically one road kind of feeding once you start going back into Olivenhain, like Lone Jack. The main one cruising through is Rancho Santa Fe, and that goes out either way. But during rush hour, during busy times, especially during, you know, kind of the commutes in the afternoons, there's a bunch of stop signs back there, so it does get backed up. If you're in a hurry, don't leave at those times because you are gonna get backed up. But I just love it out there. It is, from when you're driving around, you wouldn't notice how many hills there are, but if you're certain spots in Encinitas, you could look back in there and it's just kind of like these rolling hills. And like I said, a lot of little cool places tucked away. So that is our number 2 spot.
And for my third property, we are sticking in Encinitas, probably just because I know it so well, grew up in Encinitas. I am going back to where I grew up as a tiny little kid in Leucadia, and that's one of my favorite neighborhoods in North County. I'd say, like Chris said, Cardiff is one of the great ones. I'd say Leucadia is right up there for me as well. Ton of great restaurants and shops and stuff down the Coast Highway. One of our favorite Chinese restaurants is right there off Leucadia Boulevard. And so there's just a lot of great food and new tasting rooms and great coffee shops and just a ton to check out throughout Leucadia. And then for housing, one of my favorite streets in the world, and I got to live there for a couple years, is Neptune Avenue. It does get a little more crowded during the summer, so I guess that would be one of my cons, is that it's probably one of the more crowded communities in North County during like tourist times, like during the summer and everything. But Neptune Avenue is one of the coolest streets on the planet. Houses right on the bluff, some have their own stairs. And I'll never forget as a kid being able to look, we lived right on the bluff and looking out, we could see the dolphins at night, we could see the great sunsets. It was an awesome spot.
And to finish it off, my number 3 place is not on the coast. It's not in Encinitas. It's actually over in San Marcos, and it's called, should I tell them the name? I don't know. I want to kind of keep it a secret, but it's called Discovery Hills. If you've seen any of our videos, we have done vlog style and stuff like that, so kind of cruising around the neighborhood, but the more I get back there, the more I really like it. It's a affordability. It's just so much more affordable than a lot of other neighborhoods we just talked about. You get a lot more bang for your buck. Cassie mentioned right before this video too, a lot of the communities do not have HOAs back there, so you're not gonna be paying that monthly expense, which is killer. Discovery Lake, there's a trail around there. There's trails going up to Double Peak, and once again, I was actually running a little bit, and there's a lot of kind of hidden paved trails. So if your little guys wanna ride bikes or anything, they're paved, kind of cruising through. They left a little bit of open space between certain housing projects and stuff, so a lot of room to roam out there. Right down the road too, North City is a newer little area in San Marcos that's been growing. And one of our favorite go-to places. It's a huge outdoor, well, it's kind of indoor outdoor, but they have a bowling alley. They have a really big space. They brew their own beer there. It's called Urge, and good food, good beer, great vibe. And then right next door too, which I kind of want to start getting into. If I lived over there, I would. You get a membership to the rock climbing gym. I think it's called Mesa Rim. It's directly next to Urge, and it looks killer. They have these huge roll-up doors. We've only seen it from the Urge side, but it looks really fun. And if you're living right there, you have total easy access. Get the season pass, or the yearly pass rather, and go enjoy that too. And one negative about that community, not necessarily that community, but that area of San Marcos, is they're continually building out there. So it is good. They've actually done a big Creekside project where they're kind of just started the Creek project. So taking San Marcos Creek and kind of restoring it and making like a little park there. But there was this huge open area over there that they are been blasting out. They're gonna build a bunch of communities in there. So I think the density of housing, especially like the new community right next door, Rancho Tesoro, as they build that out, it's just gonna get more congested back there. There'll probably be new restaurants and all kinds of stuff popping up, kind of a new little vibe. But other than that, really digging the area. It's centrally located right on the other side of San Elijo Hills. So that is my number 3 spot.
So those are our 3 neighborhoods that we really like here in North County, San Diego. We gave you a bunch of Encinitas, a little bit of Cardiff, and a little bit of Carlsbad, and even a little bit of San Marcos. A little touch of San Marcos out in Discovery Hills. All great neighborhoods. Obviously, the price points are all different, kind of all over the place. Definitely all great neighborhoods with some pros and a couple little cons.
And so if you think any of those neighborhoods might work for you, or it might be somewhere else in North County you just had some questions about, you've seen some of our other videos, be sure to hit us up. If you're thinking about moving out here, we got your back. Call, text, email, whatever is easiest for you. We're getting reach outs every single week. People relocating from all over the place, moving here to North County, San Diego. And so be sure to subscribe. New videos right here every single week. All kinds of styles, vlogs, neighborhood walkthroughs, map views, kind of these talking head style. Give you some insight into all the neighborhoods. Until next time, I'll see you later.